Good evening, everybody. I believe we are live on Facebook. So we hope that you will be joining us. We're also live on YouTube and I don't know, wherever else Cat decides to put us. Anyway, I hope everyone's had a good week. Um, and I suppose, for us, it is a good week in the fact that there's still no, things are fairly quiet at the moment, but that doesn't mean that we stop working and not doing things. So we'll share a bit about that with you tonight. So our number one item is that the 15th of November is Joy Baker Day, which we named for ourselves and claimed for ourselves some years ago. Joy Baker was a home educating mother, sort of almost by default. She didn't know it was like a thing at the time. She just didn't send her kids to school. And she set an example for us. And one of the reason we have the 15th of November as Joy Baker Day is that was the date of one of her court victories. I think there was still another one after that, but we've claimed the 15th of November. This year, 15th of November is a Saturday. We will be going live and talking about home education freedom. It is the Joy Baker Day for home education freedom. It is not necessarily about her as a person. We have just used that name. But along with us, we have some great, great, I don't know, what would you call it? It's like, this is like breaking news. You've never heard of it. Yes, definitely drum roll stuff. And literally hot off the press, I can now tell you that the Joy Baker's book, Children in Chancery, has now been brought back into print and is available to purchase at the link which will be popped into the comments. There, I noticed that there is a £5 flat rate for the shipping because the company that's publishing this is in Australia. So, but it's way cheaper than the £100 mark on one of the earlier editions from the 60s, which is on Amazon. So go and get your copy now. But not only that, there's two other books by her which you can buy as a trilogy, which talks a little bit more about their family life and so on. So please go and visit the website, go and order your copy now. This is an amazing piece of news because we have been saying for years if only it would come back into print, and it is finally back in print. So go and get your copy now. You can get a digital copy or a hardcover copy, or a soft, what do you call it? Soft cover. So don't delay.
Paperback.
Yeah, paperback version or a hardcover. Go and order your copy so that you can go and read for yourself this family stories and Joy's very articulate arguments about why we should continue to have freedom to home educate. I can't tell you how excited I am about this news. So I do hope you will share that widely. So thank you, Kat, for that. So what's up next? Okie dokie. So we have got things happening. There's a protest being planned in London for the 17th of January. And this is now Michelle's wheelhouse. So I shall hand over to her.
Yes, so we've got a national demo against the Children's Wellbeing in Schools Bill on the 17th of January. It will have a march from Russell Square to Whitehall. We're going bigger and better than anything we've done before, proper stages and everything else. So again, if people would like to sponsor, email the same email as we'll give you for stewarding, because we are going much bigger than we have ever gone before with any of our demos, because it is our sort of last fight against this. We're also still looking for more stewards. So if you feel you can assist with stewarding, if you pop us an email, so we can get you added onto the list and trained up if need be. So yes, and we just want everyone coming down.
And it's a Saturday. Yeah,
it is a Saturday. Yes. So it's a Saturday, and the protest will be, the rally part of the demo will be at Whitehall, so near Downing Street itself.
Please put it in your diaries now, and really, let's commit. Let's get as many people involved. Let's share this as much as possible. Come rain or shine, let's not be deterred. Let's make sure we dress well and we plan to be there. And we also make plans for traffic disruptions and all of that. Let's have a plan to be there on the 17th of January. And along with that, we've got a request from Quiver. Is that what we're talking about now? Yeah.
Yes, as well. So Quiver's been on the marches with us since about March, I think. So if you've been watching any of the live streams through CP Reports, that's her. And she's been putting together a documentary for us, and which also then, as well as including bits from all the protests and marches, she's done interviews, and she's been to other types of adjacent issues around the Children's Wellbeing and Schools Bill and the battles we're having to try and get them to significantly amend it if they won't withdraw it. And so she's put together a documentary that's in its final stages. It's in those last little bits of it, and we're looking for a name for it. So if anyone has a good name, if they can pop an email across, and again we'll put the email we'll put the email link in the comments. If you can pop it across, any suggestions, because we're looking to name that documentary as well before it's released. We're aiming to release it before the protest, so it should be out the very beginning of January.
Yeah, something that's catchy, but also makes people aware of what it is about, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So please do come up with your ideas. We'd love to hear it. Okay, so yeah, we have an article which from Fiona Nicholson on the EdYourself website, which just explains that there's no date yet for the report stage of the Lords in the Lords for the Children's Wellbeing and Schools Bill. I'm reading Fiona's wording, and actually the correct name is the full one. So we've heard nothing more. And I don't know, you might be able to add a bit more information on that, Michelle.
Well, I think they're obviously getting ready to do something, because we've had a flurry of will write letters, but we still haven't had a few that we're expecting. So they definitely haven't given all of them up yet, because there were definitely a few others promised during the committee stage.
So would you explain what those are, Michelle?
So anyone who was watching the committee stage in the House of Lords, there were some bits where Baroness Smith didn't answer the question that other peers put to her during the committee stage. She agreed that she would write to them with a note afterwards. And so these are ones where she doesn't have the answers off the top of her tongue. She's got to go and double check and then writes with them. So we've had a flurry of them come out this week, quite a few. So we know that stuff's moving along, because they will also help the Lords be informed on what amendments to put forward for the report stage, because some of these are questions that they had at committee stage, where they've withdrawn their amendment because they didn't have enough information either way. So now they've got that information in these will write letters, so that helps the peers to decide, is there any room to put that amendment back in, or does it look like the government themselves have realised the error of their ways and maybe making amendments themselves towards where we'd want it to be. So they're quite important in that they're a stage showing it's getting closer to the report stage, but also for helping members of the House of Lords know what direction they want to take their amendments. But also quite important for us, because it gives us an idea of where the government is completely entrenched in certain views, and where the government may be ready to give some wriggle room. And if the wriggle room we want, then they're the buttons we want to be pressing to encourage that wriggle room to happen. So that's an indication that things are moving forward. But I know when people have checked the calendar seems to be already quite tight up till the very end of November. So there's no obvious place where they could start the report stage, certainly before the 21st of November. Which is good from our perspective, but we can't rest on our laurels, because the fact that will write letters have come out means that stuff is shifting.
Yeah, and as us, if you are of a one of those people who's inclined to get down on your knees and pray, still lots of opportunity for that as
Absolutely.
well. Don't stop doing that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So then alongside that, we also have further amendments. Do we have, are there new ones there?
Yes, there are a few new ones coming in. They're coming in very, very, very slowly. A lot of them actually seem quite fresh. There's quite a few in there about that were in there last week about the VPNs and social media, but we're gradually getting a few more added in. We are keeping a close eye. We haven't yet got the sort of home ed ones that we're expecting to appear, but I wasn't really expecting them to appear for maybe another week to 10 days.
Right. Okay. So yeah, keep looking, keep an eye on that, and yeah, something to keep writing to Lords about as well if you have the time.
Absolutely.
To remind them that you'd really liked amendments they put in before, see if they can bring any back, that kind of thing as well.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then we had some these are the written answers.
Yes. So there's actually been quite a lot going on in the House of Commons. So there's been quite a few education-based written answers. We've highlighted this one in particular because it also lines up with several other things. I put in an FOI, and a few other people at Goodroom put FOIs, and they all came back. We were all asking about this data privacy impact assessment that was promised months and months ago. An MP had asked a question about it, and they also were promised they were just checking with the Information Commissioner, and then lists would appear. Turns out from the FOIs, they're not even considering Clause 4, the big consistent identifier within the DPIA, and they have written a draft of something, but no one's allowed to see it. But then we go further, and they're asking about information sharing, which obviously, if they've done a DPIA, you would expect them to have considered that. But they haven't had that. Josh McAllister literally answers, no discussions have been had regarding either aspect. So if they're improving information sharing and they have a DPIA that we already know doesn't include everything it should include, but they haven't even had conversations around social care, around adult mental health services, which all will interact if you read the bill, it makes it even more worrying about how our data is going to be used. And again, even if your MP is for the bill, this is a point where you can sort of say, okay, you're for the bill, but due process, how are you keeping our data safe? You've got FOIs that say you've not done the impact assessment. You've got Josh McAllister answering another member saying that they haven't even had the discussions about it. So this is a point where you can, even if your MP is entrenched in they don't want to shift their position on the bill, it's a very different thing to say, well, that's fine. If the bill's so good, where's this data protection impact assessment? Yeah. Show us that. Let us know how you're keeping us safe if this bill is so good.
Yeah, there was a bit, I mean, the last sentence is also quite telling because there's been discussion about the consistent identifier for children and if it would be, continuing into adulthood. And he mentions it, but the role both the adult and child identifiers can play in the transition to adulthood as this work moves forward, which to me, it kind of speaks through reading between the lines that they are thinking of transitioning it through to adulthood.
Absolutely.
So, which would confirm what we've been saying. So just we need to keep a very close eye on this. And we also need to be, once again, going back to those MPs. And I think particularly if you've got Labour MPs, don't leave them alone. Keep on at them because we need to crack that wall. That's very solid brick wall, and badger them as much as possible so that they know that we're really, really not happy.
There are cracks appearing as well, and it will give people comfort to know that you are more likely now, statistically, to get a response from your MP than you are to not, as we've gone well over the 50% mark for responses from MPs, which is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And I think the community should be congratulating themselves on actually taking that action absolutely to the nth degree, and following up as well. So this is something you can follow up with.
Yes, definitely. And I think with that following up, especially with those that have given, those letters that they send where you can hear they haven't actually read your email properly and they're actually telling you what the bill's about, like duh, why do you think I'm writing to you? And so those people who are not properly reading your emails, we now need to go back to them and say, have you seen this? Have you seen the numbers on the petitions? Have you seen this open letter? Have you seen this question and how Josh McAllister answered it? I'm not happy about. We need to go back with mentioning the Reclaim Rights for Freedom or for Children, that website as well, pointing them to all the different places where they can go and see the strength of feeling. So if you do have the energy and the time and you feel like you can tackle that, do respond to your MPs and just keep that pressure up. Okay, then we have a new open letter. And did this come out of the Battle of Ideas, Michelle? Did you say this one?
Right. So we don't know for definite, but the Together Declaration, they were at the Battle of Ideas. They were speaking. They spoke on digital ID for quite a long time, and myself and some other members of the Alliance were at the Battle of Ideas, and many conversations were had with this particular group about how the Children's Wellbeing in Schools Bill aligns with their values and the similarities with the digital ID. And we asked if they could sort of take up the mantle as such. So we were overjoyed to see a mere couple of weeks later an open letter that has taken on board the points that we'd raised with them, and they've put the open letter out there. So it's good that the message is getting out there.
Yes. So yes, it is another thing to sign and to share, but think about how long it's going to take you to sign and share it. Somebody mentioned on the group earlier this week about having petition fatigue. Honestly, you could sign every single petition we send your way in 1 hour. And if that's all you do, fantastic. So let's not stop. Just take those few minutes that it takes to sign it and share it with others as well, because we just have to try everything. We cannot afford to lose this battle. So try everything, do everything you can. If you aren't able to attend protests, this is something you can do.
So. And the other bit, remember, this is also an organisation who knows what they're talking about when it comes to digital ID. They've been campaigning against digital ID for years. They were about campaigning when the COVID passports were going to prevent you accessing things like that and stuff. So the fact that they've read the materials, listened, done their own research, because they don't just go off what someone else says, and they're coming out and finding the same issues we've already found and are now amplifying it, means that I know we've been banging on about it since January, but it's good that other organisations are now recognising the harms in this bill. And the more we can get other organisations building up, which again, once you get a few other organisations realise, then other organisations who ignored us before start listening, because they're like, oh, well, if they're following them, what have they got to say? And then gradually we get to the point where we're being heard properly by those in the power that be.
Yes. And it is that thing of just the more people that are protesting and questioning and challenging, the more voices they're hearing, they cannot keep ignoring it. As I know they will try their best to, but just keep it up, just keep promoting these kinds of things. And if you find other organizations, I know Christian Concern have also raised concerns. If you find other organizations, share that stuff, get it out there more widely. And that brings us back to our other petition, which has been running for a while, which is the Reclaim Rights for Children petition. This one is another one that if you haven't signed it yet, please do go and sign it. This is particularly focused on the digital identifier and data sharing. So this goes beyond just home education. So this is one to share on school networks if you're involved in any as well, and other groups that are opposed to digital IDs and that kind of thing. just get this out there, and let's get all of these numbers up. Once again, it's one more voice, one more another bit of weight being thrown behind the protests against this bill.
The other bit, this petition is quite useful, where some of you have reached out asking, well, how do I approach my MP and explain those issues? That the beauty of the change petitions, which you don't get with the government petitions, is you can actually write stuff. You're not limited.
Yeah, they don't limit your word count. Yeah.
So the Reclaim Rights for Children have very clearly explained the issues, the unique identifier, the issues with it linking to the NHS number. So you could literally copy and paste big chunks of the explanation for the petition and put it in your letter to your MP saying, this is why I'm concerned.
Yeah. And as you can see on here, it says want to do more, visit, and then it's got the web page that you want to contact your MP. So it does give you some pointers on how to contact your MP as well. So, yes, there's lots of petitions, but most of these petitions, if you've signed them already with your email address, they will tell you. So don't worry about whether you've signed it more than once. It'll probably let you know. So it can't hurt to give it a go anyway. Is that it then, Kat? Is that the list? Okay, yeah. This one is from Christian Concern. So as I mentioned, yet another organization raising awareness on the Children's Wellbeing in Schools Bill. So another article, particularly if you are a Christian and involved in churches, you could share this with your networks there as well. Share this with your ministers or pastors. And they also cite the open letter, which was published by Joshua Kellard in The Critic. Also lots of information here, mentions the HE Byte and other information there. So this link will also be in the comments below. And then, of course, we have the Substack, which comes out every Monday with all this information and more. So our lovely Kat here, who goes and does all the research and adds bits that she finds that we need to be aware of. She's such a really good watchdog and highlights a lot of things that we would otherwise miss. So thank you, Kat, for that. And that means you need to go and subscribe to the Substack, which is very simple to do. You will get the link to the Substack in the comments. You go on there and you just subscribe yourself, and then you will receive these notifications every Monday in your inbox, which is really helpful if you miss this live. And also, I think you link to the video anyway in the Substack as well, so you can also get that. And it's just such a good source of information, and we really do try our best to make sure everyone has access to the information they need. Is there anything anyone else needs to add to that? But just to encourage you, go and order Joy Baker's book, Children in Chancery, is now available for under a tenner. Back in print, people. This is historic. Go and be one of the first to go and purchase that. And you can also get the other books in the trilogy that they've included as well. And that's a huge thanks to Joy's daughter who's made this possible. I'm just so excited about it, honestly. So Joy Baker Day in 2 weeks' time. We will also be talking a lot about things from about that as well.
And if you have your own ideas of what you're doing to celebrate Joy Baker Day, we would love to hear them as well. So
yes, definitely.
If you're planning on doing something in your own local home ed group, or you've got something local you want to promote, or even if you want to just pop into a live because you'd like to have a conversation about it, let us know. We want to hear what you're doing as well.
And it's Joy Baker Day for Home Education Freedom. So it's a really good day to say, okay, on this day, I'm going to send loads of quotes out onto social media about home education freedom. I'm going to catch up on all my petitions. I'm going to share them. Anything to do with home education freedom, to raise awareness and to make people aware that home education is such a positive choice for so many families.
Also, really good way of doing a mini topic with your children about the history of home education, because in the UK we have a unique history that we all share and that we're all a part of, because history is being made every single day. So your children are part of this journey, and this is their story as much as it is ours.
Exactly.
So it's something we can all come together and enjoy.
That's a really good point to make, Amy. Thank you. And I think we need to be talking a lot about the positive benefits of home education, so that we know why we're home educating, we see the benefit for our children, and share those stories out there as well. I mean, that could even be your action for Joy Baker Days. I'm going to share our story of why we're home educating and what it's done for my children. I'm going to make sure people understand why I've made this choice and why the freedom is important. But anyway, other than that, I think that's a wrap for this week. And yeah, we will see you next Sunday, same time. Remind
Same
us again,
place.
what's it? Exclamation mark, notify in the comments. So exclamation mark, notify, and you will be notified every time we go live. Thanks again, everyone. Thank you, Michelle and Amy and Kat, as always, for your hard work behind the scenes. Take care. Have a good week.